Think living on a pension means sacrificing fun, freedom, or even travel? Think again. In part 2 of our Shoestring Budget Hack series, we're unlocking how to slash your bills and score big savings on insurance, on the internet and mobile plans, and even getaways. Because every dollar you keep is a dollar you can spend on what truly matters. Ready to stretch your budget without shrinking your lifestyle? Let's dive in. First, we'll talk a bit about home and contents insurance. The Insurance Council of Australia, in their report, The Non-Insured, Who, Why and When, stated a common theme shows those on lower incomes, including homeowners, are less likely to have both building and contents insurance. Yet the question remains, even with the escalating insurance costs, can people really not afford to take out insurance cover, especially with the broad range of natural disasters that continue to take place on a global scale? Some reasons people are not obtaining insurance is the ever-escalating insurance premiums. Living on a fixed income simply can mean that people cannot afford the insurance. The premiums may have escalated because of a natural disaster having been experienced in their region. A friend of mine a few years ago said, if you can't afford insurance, you can't afford the item. I don't know whether that really holds true these days, although with the range of natural disasters with home insurance, it's really a point, very safety net to have insurance of some type. Another reason is insurance companies just don't reward loyal customers. So what are the ways to get around this? Firstly, avoid simply sticking to the same insurer you always had. Research and compare various insurance companies for the best deals, but however ensure that you are comparing apples with apples. You can also check to see whether there are insurance companies that are specifically tailored towards seniors and pensioners. Beware though, when compared to other large companies, they just may turn out to be dearer. A few years ago, I was checking home and contents insurance, and I checked out the insurance company specifically tailored towards seniors and pensioners, and found that they were at least $200 or $300 dearer than if I'd gone with just a normal large insurer. So what I did was I then checked out the main insurers to make sure that I was getting the best deal. Another strategy you can use is check with your current insurer whether they can give a better deal than you found in your research. They just might do better if they know you're going to switch providers. In my insurance quote for the 2024-25 year, with the current provider I had at the time, the increase in the insurance premium was 28%. So I did some more research and found an insurance company where comparing apples with apples, where the premium would only be a 13% increase. So naturally I went with that company, and I literally saved myself $200 by switching insurers. And a strategy to help try and afford insurance is maybe take up their monthly payment option rather than their annual option. For many, paying monthly is a good option. For others, paying annually does give one time to save up for the following year. You do, in many respects, end up paying slightly more for insurance, paying monthly. However, it may be more manageable with your budget. So another strategy that a neighbour of mine uses is that she rings her insurer and obtains the relevant annual premium cost. So you may not be able to do this until about the middle of the year, but it's worth trying to give yourself as many months cushion as you can to find out what the premium price will be. The strategy I use is I factor in between 19 and 28% increase in the following year premium into my budget. Why so up to 28%? Because you never know what insurance companies are going to do and how much they're going to stiff us customers next. Hence, I prefer to be prepared rather than scrambling to pay the premium. Even if you don't factor in up to 19 or 28%, try and factor in something into your budget so that you've got time to save it up over the whole 12-month period. Car insurers are similar. There is simply no point being a loyal customer these days unless it pays to do so. Again, research and compare and then do it again just to ensure that you have the best deal. They also have the option of paying monthly or annually, depending, and so it really comes down to what suits your budget best. For car insurers, I try to factor in an annual premium increase for the following year into my budget of 16 to 20%, for the same reason that I try and factor in an increase in my budget for home and contents, just so I don't get bill shock. And also that I'm not scrambling, in the short space of time trying to find the money to pay the insurance. Let's talk about internet and mobile providers. In Aussieland, NBN, which is the National Broadband Network, providers are literally falling over themselves to obtain new customers. They're giving anything from 4 to 12 months of a monthly discount if you sign up for them. I received a $20 amount discount for 6 months when I changed providers. Then when it was nearly up, I found another provider who was prepared to give the $20 discount for 12 months. So I'm laughing. However, what I do suggest you do is ensure you don't have to pay an exit fee and can switch providers whenever you feel like during the term without having to give 30 days notice. Some internet providers have senior plans. Beware, beware, beware. I believe providers are discriminating against seniors by shaping the line speed, yet claiming they're giving a seniors discount. They basically shape the line speed so that it's only 12 megabits per second. So it's how long it takes for you to be able to access a page on the internet. Really, it's only meant for social media and maybe checking an email or two. So if you're a heavy user of the internet, a seniors plan just will not cut it it certainly doesn't cut it with me, and I just think it's pathetic that they're not giving genuine discounts and expecting seniors not to be able to access the full range of internet services on their devices and number of devices. You certainly couldn't use more than one device on 12 megabits per second, which is the line speed. It's absolutely pathetic in this day and age. You'd be very lucky to stream TV in their shaped line speed seniors plan. Mobile plans, it depends on your usage. Do you use your mobile for phone and internet, or do you use your mobile just for receiving and making phone calls and sending and receiving SMS messages? Therefore, the internet data allowance is not really that big an issue. Mobile companies do provide a range of data plans for internet access that can scale from 1 gigabyte upwards. However, so does the price. For me, I use my phone for making and receiving calls, sending and receiving SMS or text messages, so 1 gigabyte of data suits me, and this is because I have an NBN connection, so I don't really need it unless I'm out and about and away from my home. So check and compare the best deals available that suit your needs, and you can switch at any time without paying exit fees. You can direct debit on a monthly basis if you prefer, or another option is obtain a prepaid plan, which usually comes around every 28 days. Internet and mobile providers can also give you a bundle and save option for your NBN and mobile. This can be potentially a good option. However, ensure first you check whether it is cheaper to pay separately with a different NBN provider to your mobile provider. I found that when I looked at this, for me, it was cheaper to separate and have a different internet provider to a mobile provider. It was a much cheaper option for me. However, it might be different for you. They normally give about a $5 discount, so it's not huge, but it can make a difference to your budget if it works for you. Next week, we'll be starting the Sleep Easy How to Stay Safe Online for Seniors, which is a 3-part series. Your online security starts with keeping your accounts locked down. Weak or reused passwords make it easy for scammers to steal your identity, access your bank accounts, or take over your email and social media. But don't worry, we'll show you easy, practical ways to protect yourself from cyber criminals. This will save you dollars and enable you to sleep well at night. Like to travel? And so I've put together a few smart travel tips for you. Travel during off-peak seasons. You may get flights and hotels and attractions cost less outside peak travel times, and for example, avoiding school holidays and major events for the best prices. And another one is, if you're flying, to maybe fly midweek rather than on the weekend or on Monday, because they tend to have cheaper deals for midweek flights. You can use budget airlines and or alternative transports. There are comparison sites like Skyscanner, Google Flights and Kayak, that you may be able to check to see whether you can get cheap flight deals. Maybe long distance buses or trains may also be a form of cheaper travel. So in New South Wales, we can have rural travel. All pensioners receive a discount on rural travel between to the north and south borders. So it may be a cheaper option if you're into train trips to take a train trip, or if you're into buses to take a bus trip rather than fly or even drive. One little one I like doing is I house sit for a friend of mine, and she has 4 dogs. Now, it's not that I'm into dogs per se, but the dogs know me, I know the dogs. I get a little wee holiday just house sitting and looking after her 4 dogs when she's away. So house sitting might be an option for you with a friend. It just gives you a break away from your own home. You're doing something a little bit different. Well, that's what I've found. Check out accommodation options. Some hostels do have private rooms. I'm over in a shared room these days in hostels. I did that when I was in my younger years, and it was a good way to travel, and I had a good time, and I actually lived and worked in a hostel, a YHA hostel, for a number of years, for about a year, and I called it driving a cab without the wheels, because I met so many different people from so many different walks of life, and I had a great time. Guest houses and Airbnb or senior-friendly discounts on hotels. Some places do offer pensioner discounts if you book with them directly. You've got those comparison sites. Sometimes it's best to ring them direct rather than pay on the comparison site. You just might get the room at a cheaper rate. If you have a credit card or travel rewards or airline miles or hotel points, you may be able to get free flights or stays. So maybe that might be a way for you. I don't have a credit card. I gave up my credit card a number of years ago, and I use a debit card, so I don't get the rewards points on the credit card. And quite frankly, I am very happy not to have a credit card. One of the things that a friend and I did when we used to travel in the 90s and 2000 rather, early 2000s overseas, was we would avoid tourist traps and eat where the locals eat and visit the markets where the locals went to, and if we could cook some of our meals ourselves, and we had a much more enjoyable and round experience of the culture of different countries by doing that. It was a great way to get to know the different culture, and we did that virtually in nearly every country we went to. You can travel in groups or book tours for seniors. Group travel quite often means discounted rates on transport, hotels, attractions. So look for senior-friendly group tours that cater to maybe just a little bit slower pace than racing around the world as if in a hectic way. Living on a tight budget doesn't mean sacrificing quality of life. It's about being resourceful, strategic, and making every dollar work for you. By embracing smart shopping habits for insurances, compare and switch. Internet and mobile plans, get the best plan right for you and your budget, and travel probably more than you first thought you can. Just like I thought my overseas travel days were over, yet last year I went overseas and I was very lucky to do it at a very affordable price. Could you please like this video, and it's free to subscribe to my channel. Please leave your comments and suggestions on ways that you use and strategies to make your dollar stretch that bit further, so that you too you have quality of life, but you're not breaking the bank in doing so. If you have any questions, ideas or suggestions, please don't hesitate to include them in the comments below. I regularly check the comments so that I can respond to you. Have a great day. Be kind to one another. I'll chat to you in next week's video, which is on cyber security, which is Sleep Easy, How to Stay Safe Online for Seniors, Part 1. Bye for now.